Top of the morning to you, and welcome to another episode of the Godfather Minute. I'm Alex Robinson.
And I'm Andy Robinson.
And together we're talking about minute 33 of the Godfather Part II.
Minute. Alex, repeat after me. E minuto. Numero 33.
33. That's pretty easy to remember.
Straight up. Threes all around.
Threes all around.
That's right. Frankie threes all around. Because he always buys 3 drinks for everybody.
So
No, because he always repeats Mikey's lines 3 times.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was going to bring it up this minute, too.
Yeah, we talked about it last minute.
In this minute, we're still in Mikey's office in Lake Tahoe.
Oh, still in this office.
We're half an hour in, and we've only been in one location.
Whoa.
Pretty much.
Wow.
I mean, Lake Tahoe. Well,
That's a long time.
Tiny bit of Sicily. Long time.
Yeah.
Mikey and Frankie wrap up their discussion about the fate of the Rosato brothers. With Frankie theatrically promising no trouble from him. After he leaves, Alex Mikey if he wants Frankie to leave. Mm-hmm. If he wants him to leave the compound, I guess. Not leave the room. It's like, Al, he just left the room. So, starting from the beginning.
Well, hold on. Before you go there, you talked about how this minute really features Frankie and Mikey.
Yeah.
It's like, ladies and gentlemen, here in person today at KVOH, we have Mikey and Frankie, the new Sicilian a cappella
singing sensation from Long Beach.
Singing your favorite tarantellas, like Pop Goes the Weasel.
Is this our merch? Merch I know of the week.
And fresh oranges from Florida. He always makes money for his partners. It's funny that the little sound bites aren't even or have nothing to do with singing. It's all let's start from the top. Some more great dialogue.
So Mikey. So it ended last time with Frankie saying,
"They're taking hostages."
Well, it ended with him saying, you don't tell me how to run my family."
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mikey says, "Your family?"
Yeah.
Oh, your family? That's strange. I thought we were talking about my family.
Mikey starts off the top of this minute explaining he has some big deals in mind with Hyman Roth. He doesn't want him to get messed up, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. So,
he says, I have business with Hyman Roth, and I don't want it disturbed.
There you go, disturbed.
It's a great word to use.
So, is the business? This is going to sound like a really dumb question, considering it's the whole plot of the film. But maybe it's like a Mobiliari, where is the business the casinos, or is it just overall taking over bits of Hyman Roth's?
I thought it was
empire.
I thought it was a deal involving trucks owned by his father. That's the only thing.
I thought it was a deal to finally get a signpost put up.
Oh, that's the whole deal. That'd be so great if Frankie Ford Coppola's on his deathbed reveals that the whole story was about the plaque from Low Green.
So when he said, there wasn't even a signpost or a plaque or a statue, Mikey was like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't know that we're actually trying to put together he doesn't want to ruin the surprise.
Well, that's why at the end of that scene that we're going to see later, Hyman Roth says, I'm going to go take a nap. If the briefcase of money is here when I get back, I'll know I have a partner. And if not, I know I don't. Because it was right at the end of the whole Low Green plaque monologue.
Yeah.
So Hyman Roth is setting him up, saying, "Hey, if the $1 million is here, I know you're in with me to get this plaque or statue."
Oh, I thought they were doing it as a surprise for Hyman Roth.
Oh, a surprise!
Yeah, like he
for his birthday.
I don't know. Something like that. We know his birthday's coming up, so maybe he wanted to bring it with him to Cuba just to show it to him before he was like a model.
Mr. Roth, why did you go to Israel? I wanted to retire in Israel. They have lower restrictions for plaques, and I was hoping to get one there for Mo Green.
They were gonna get a gold plaque to put up on the Las Vegas Strip, but they were gonna have it delivered to Cuba so we could show it to Hyman Roth. And then we unlocked it. He's like, "This is a gold telephone. What am I gonna do with a gold telephone?" And he's like, "Mikey, we'll just give it to the president. No one will be any wiser."
We have this whole counter story. I mean, everything you see in the movie is really happens, but it's all different reasons.
It changes the context of the. Yeah. So all throughout the movie, he's trying to get the gold, and so at the end, he's like, "We got to get this plaque to him." He's like, "You know what you got to do, Rocco?"
Yeah.
And he shoots him, and he's like, he wants us to shoot him.
Rocco misunderstood.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And, if you listen to at Hyman Roth's birthday party, if you listen closely, you hear a smaller piece, but he actually says smaller plaque.
Oh, really? It's a small
I think
plaque.
It's an overdub there. I think the producers tried to
why do you think you would want a smaller plaque? Is it like too ostentatious for Mo Green?
Yeah, I mean, you still don't want to call too much attention to yourself. He's a showboat.
Sure, Mo was a showboater.
Sure.
He can fly off.
I love this idea. This is alternate history.
Alternate history?
Well, no, it's the real history because we're not changing.
It's the untold secrets of the Godfather Part II.
Oh, that's what they need to make, not a making of the Godfather. Although that could be in the making of the Godfather.
Yes,
this is the real story. That no wonder Francis Ford Coppola almost had a heart attack or a stroke. They were reinterpreting his story.
That was no almost heart attack. Hey, speaking of shocks, we should announce that between this episode and next week's episode, we are planning on recording our Godfather 3 commentary track.
Woo!
So if you want to get on board, there's still time. You'll hear directions for that. If you're not a Patreon, you'll hear directions for that once we get to the paywall part, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh,
Immobariare.
Yeah. We just have to, what is it? We just had to find the DVD. Is that how we're going to do it? We're a little low tech here. That's not too low tech, right?
Well, it frustrates me that my wife and I, we are subscribing to like 6 streaming services, I think.
6.
Let's see. Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Paramount Plus, HBO. There's got to be another one in there. Come on.
Netflix, Hulu.
Anyway, and Godfather 3 is not currently streaming on any of them.
That is ridiculous. So where can you get it?
Well, you have to buy it. You have to basically rent it.
Oh, you have to buy it, yeah.
You can. I'm sure you can rent it in a lot of places, but
yeah.
I don't want to pay $3 for it. I own it.
Damn it. And Gary's going to charge you at least $10,000 to buy.
All right.
He doesn't like your kind. He intends to squeeze you. That is crazy. You can't get Godfather 3?
He saves GF3 for last.
I don't know. I was saying that somewhat sarcastic, like, wow, you really can't get Godfather 3? Like, it's this real popular movie, but you really should be able to get it. It's
well,
especially on Paramount.
1 and 2 are everywhere. And the when I first signed up for Paramount Plus, both GF3 and Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, were both on Paramount Plus. And now they were like, okay, let's do the commentary. Neither of them are on.
Just gone.
They're gone.
Wow.
More like the Godfather. Anyway, so looking forward to that.
Awesome. Since you're plugging stuff, I want to 2 things. I want to plug my band, and I want to thank you. Let me start with plugging my band, the Underdog Night Soldiers. We just uploaded a new song. Alex, thanks for doing the artwork. But the real thank you, Alex, is thank you for getting me to start podcasting, because if you hadn't, I wouldn't have started writing novelty songs and recording them. And if I didn't start doing that, I probably wouldn't have started recording my originals.
Wow.
So finally, there's something in it for me. So thank you, Alex. And go check out my music on the Underdog Night Soldiers, Spotify, YouTube, etc.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go listen to some Tony Bennett records.
By the way, maybe we save this for GF3, but I just think of,
save it. Don't talk about it now. Save it for another year and a half.
No, I meant the commentary.
Oh, okay.
Like if someone says you've been that,
yeah,
what would that mean? If you can't answer it,
I can't.
No, if you can't answer it now, we can talk. Okay. We could save it for the.
Well, my gut was to say if someone bites your ear off.
Oh, really?
If a bastard bites your ear off, it's called being zazad.
That's a deep cut. It's got to be a bastard.
Got to be a bastard. It's not a zaza unless his bastard does it.
What if someone?
Then it's a Mike Tyson if it's not a bastard. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Mike Bastard. I don't know what Mike Tyson's. He might be a bastard for all I know. So we should check.
Yeah.
What about if son of a bitch?
What about if someone purposely puts a stone in your shoe? You've been zazad.
That's when you've been zazad.
Miss Don Corleone. This bastardo has purposely put a stone in my shoe.
Look, he takes his shoe off, all gravels.
Yeah.
What does this got to do with me?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to GF2. Minute 33.
Minute 33. Okay.
So we think that the business deal has to do with just basically taking on parts of Hyman Roth's empire.
Yeah.
Theoretically, I guess the things that could be most turned into legitimate businesses.
Yeah.
Is Hyman Roth, do you think, almost like, is he closer to being a legitimate businessman?
Alex, how legitimate is he?
You would do a theme song to put in there?
I'm thinking about it. It just it's not a very common question.
Right.
Especially in this movie, right? Not a lot of legitimate folks we're talking about here.
Because, so when he's distributing everything to all the people, when Hyman Roth is on the rooftop with the party giving stuff, most of the things he seems to be giving away are casinos and that kind of
slices of the casino pie.
Yeah,
the cake.
So Klingman's a good man.
Klingman's way of doing business is over. Even he knows that.
And
if he doesn't know, Al will show him.
Mikey says he doesn't want it disturbed. Hoo-ha. And then Frankie says, so you'll give loyalty to a Jew before your own blood.
Whoa.
Are we supposed to take this literally? Is Frankie related by blood to, or is he just talking about Sicilians? I think Sicilian thing.
I think he's just talking about Sicilians. I don't think he's related.
He looks more like Don.
He looks like Tom Hagen with a mustache.
He looks like Don Ciccio with a mustache. You know, the guy who eventually winds up being stabbed.
I can see that. Yeah.
It was weird.
I wonder if Tom Hagen could have played Frankie Five Angels' part. You're playing Pop Goes the Weasel. I'm demonstrating a Sicilian tarantella.
They're very different. Recast that, move everyone over like one slot. Like Tom Hagen plays Frankie Five Angels. Michael Gazzo plays Fredo. John Cazale plays Mikey, and so on. So slide them all around.
I like the idea of Michael Gazzo playing Fredo and giving those Fredo lines when he sees the guy playing Frankie Five Angels. He's like, seeing you, Frankie really reminds me of the old days. We were real broken up about that heart attack. Who's playing Fredo again?
Fredo would be...
Was it Tom? Oh, no, that was no heart attack.
Well, no, I guess it should be Al Pacino, because Tom is playing... Frankie
Five Angels.
Yeah. So it must be like Al Pacino doing it.
Yeah.
As Fredo. I wonder how that would work.
Oh, I love the idea of rotating him.
Did you see Donnie Brasco?
Yeah, with Johnny Depp?
And Al Pacino.
Al Pacino was in that.
Yeah.
It was good.
Speaking of which, while I was researching today's episode, I was looking at all Michael Gazzo's movie and TV roles, Frankie Five Angels.
Okay.
And he was like a staple of, he was on Kojak, he's on Kotter. Welcome Back, Kotter. Can you imagine him on Welcome Back, Kotter?
We gotta find that episode.
He was on Alice, the TV show Alice, Starsky and Hutch, Columbo, Fantasy Island.
Oh my goodness.
I don't remember seeing. I know. We might have seen him and just not.
We probably did. We used to watch all those shows.
Yeah, and we didn't know. When I was a kid, I didn't see Godfather 2. So he probably would have just been some guy with a mustache.
Yeah.
But
Fantasy Island?
Yeah. So I wonder if he was the one. I feel like he seems like he played a lot of mobsters. In his so he got typecast as mobster. Yeah. So I'm guessing
because this is all after Godfather 3, right? A lot of those
for
shows,
the most part. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. I wonder if
the plane. He's all excited.
Oh, that was no plane.
That was no fantasy.
So I'm wondering if he was the one with the fantasy, or if he was like, if the person was like, I always wanted to know it would be like to be a gangster, and then like Michael, he was the character in that guy's fantasy.
Yeah.
My beef with Fantasy Island. Do you remember watching it as a kid, or was it kind of gone by the time?
I don't really remember watching it much.
Yeah, it was on like Saturday nights at 10 or 9 o'clock.
I mean, I was pretty young, I think, and so it just didn't catch me. There wasn't enough action. It was just too much dialogue. It was a little slow, it felt.
Yeah.
But yet it enticed us because it had this weird like kind of time travel fantasy feel. So I remember wanting to be interested, but it just never hooked me.
Yeah, I think we watched like the beginning, and then once they actually got into the fantasies, it was like, this is just a lot of... There'd usually be like a funny one. The funny ones are usually the ones I enjoyed watching. One thing that bugs me about it, even to this day, is I guess the premise of the show... I feel like everyone's fantasy was like bad. Like you could have the most innocuous most of the people were like, I'd love to be like a high roller in Vegas, and then like he'd wind up getting his legs broken by a gangster. Oh man, I would love to be able to fly.
They never worked out well.
Into something. I feel like everyone's fantasies inevitably it would show you. It was almost like a Twilight Zone, like a genie situation where you're like, I want $1 million, and it turns out you got in a car accident and you got $1 million in the settlement, or something. You can't move or something. There's always some.
Wasn't that the whole purpose? Is it to...
Is that... I'd be pissed off if I spent like thousands of dollars to live out a fantasy only to be taught some stupid lesson about how like life is really good.
Well, that you should appreciate what you have. Alex, that is the most valuable lesson.
I guess so.
Right?
Yeah. So I was wondering what would... If Frankie Five Angels was the guest on Fantasy Island, what would he have...
Oh, the character Frankie Five Angels?
Yeah, what would his fantasy be that he would pay top dollars for?
What was Ricardo Montalban's character?
Mr. Rourke.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Rourke. I always wanted my own family. Oh, no, yeah. His fantasy is that the Rosado brothers are dead.
And then it would turn out he really missed them after all. He's like, come back, Rosado brothers, come back.
Why would that go wrong? How would Fantasy Island twist that into something?
Because he thinks he'd be happy, but then it turned out that he...
But why not?
Because he misses them. He turned out he loved them all.
He actually liked the competition and the...
Yeah, it was kind of like a friendly rivalry. He kept him on his toes. It was like... It must be like Federer and Nadal or like two great champions. You're like, there's only one other person I can really play my hardest and be challenged, and it's that guy. So.
Yeah, interesting. Or maybe Frankie wants the family. He's like, what's his name? Mr. Rourke?
Mr. Rourke?
Mr. Rourke, I want the family I run to have my name. I want it to be called the Angels and not have to Corleone and call it Corleone.
The Brooklyn Angels. It's funny that maybe it just speaks to his personality, but like all of his fantasies all revolve around the job. It's not like, I would love to be like the King of America, or I'd love to like meet Abraham Lincoln or something. It all has to do with him currently running the
we have
very narrow focus,
limited exposure to his motivation.
Boy, you know what I would like to do? I'd like to have a slightly bigger car. That would be great.
What if what would I'm trying to think of like Cheech. What would he want? What would his fantasy be?
More buffers, I have to think.
Oh, really? More? Oh, so he wouldn't.
Because then there'd be more buffers between him and the crimes, so he wouldn't.
So he wouldn't be in the hot seat, and
he doesn't have any buffers.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
he gets told directly. No, he doesn't get told by Michael, but anyway.
Yeah, and then he gets busted.
Yeah, what Cheeches?
maybe Frankie's Mr. Rourke. I just want good food at this reception. It's something so simple. Here,
finally, some Italian music.
I want my walk-on music to not be Pop Goes the Weasel.
His fantasy was, I want to be a big band leader someday, and then that was what his fantasy was lived out when he was like, no.
That's the
Yeah.
So that's a better
you see,
question.
Tattoo, what Mr. Five Angels did not realize was that he had the music inside him all along. Thanks, Mr. Rourke. You really taught me a lesson about wanting things.
And then he goes back to New York and he lives out the rest of his life happy.
Only $10,000 cheap, poorer.
That's actually a funnier question to set up the Fantasy Island Godfather thing. It's not what would they ask for, it's what did they ask for that ended up.
So you're saying all of Godfather takes place on Fantasy Island?
Yes.
Oh, whoa, that is nuts.
So Fredo always wanted. He's like, I wanted something in it for me.
Oh, there you go.
And then like you shall have that, Mr. Corleone. Oh, and that's how they start, by calling him Mr. Corleone. But of course, it ends up he has to betray his brother to get something.
And Merle's fantasy was to someday ride the Queen.
But does he? But he doesn't get that.
No, he doesn't, because he wants. He.
Remember, you always get your fantasy, but it's not what you expect it to be.
Yeah. I was talking about Connie then, not the boat.
Yeah. Oh. I was gonna make that joke, but I wasn't sure you meant that. I didn't want to disrespect the lady like that.
I was trying to use something other than book passage on the Queen.
Yeah,
because I wanted to.
I like that. Ride the Queen. Maybe that was Connie's ad. It's like, do you want to ride her Lonely Hearts ad in the Tahoe Times? No, it'd be the Reno Times. It'd be like, hey, are you lonely and looking to ride the Queen? And Merle took that a different way. He's like, sure, that concerns me. I'd like to ride the Queen.
And she's like, I don't know. I get seasick. Oh, don't worry. It'll be over before you know it. What are you talking about? I hear it takes like 2 weeks. 2 weeks?
I better call in Troy Donahue. Merle, that's no good for Merle. We'll need both of us.
So,
and then what would Connie ask for?
What would her fantasy be?
Yeah, not that ended up really happening, but what would she really ask?
I think
she'd ask for Carlo back?
I think her fantasy would be for Al to make him a drink.
Oh, that's simple.
Yes.
Oh god.
It was like she went and she was like, Al, you please fix her drink. I'm like, okay, that's your No, wait, I didn't. Wait.
Well, maybe Mikey is Rourke.
Oh, Mikey's
Everyone
Rourke.
go and Don Corleone and GF1. People go in and ask for these fantasies.
You know, it's kind
right?
of yeah,
it's kind of what's happening.
Yeah,
Connie asked
Tom Hagen Tattoo because he's like the sidekick.
Tattoo.
The plane. Oh,
I was gonna go like, you must show cause. I was flipping.
You're gonna do a Hervé Villachez impression.
How do you say Tom? What's his name? It's like He has a Spanish accent, right?
It's actually like
or is it like East Asian?
No, I think it's like French.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hervé Villachez.
What'd you say?
I said Hervé Villachez. That's his name. Hervé Villachez is the name of the. I think he's French.
Plane.
If you're ever on the HBO and you're looking for something to watch, there's an interesting movie called My Dinner with Hervé, which is a true story about a journalist went to go interview Hervé Villachez and had a crazy wild night. And Peter Dinklage plays Hervé Villachez.
Oh, docudrama.
Yeah, docudrama.
Oh, excellent!
Yeah, so you get to see Lannister doing a pretty French accent.
Oh, fun! That's great.
It's pretty fun. It's a good movie.
Oh, cool!
So,
awesome. What's it called again?
My Dinner with Hervé.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Docudrama. It's just like a 1-2 hour thing. So you're out.
Well, maybe we'll come back to Fantasy Island.
I like
cycle
I
through
like
the
this
characters.
Concept. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only what would they ask for, but what did they ask for?
That this is they are all currently living out their fantasies. Like, hey, you could have been wanting to marry a rich businessman.
Alex.
What?
That's naive. She asked for an abortion, Alex.
Oh,
it was an abortion. She asked
she
for.
did get it. But then that means she's
but
living
she was
out her
unhappy.
fantasies.
Remember, you always get it, but you're unhappy. You get what you ask for.
Right.
You get what you need, but not what you want.
I don't think she was unhappy about it. I think Mikey was unhappy about it. She was unhappy about the marriage.
Yeah.
I don't think she was like, oh, why did I get an abortion? I think she was glad about that part.
Yeah.
So I think it would have to be, that part couldn't be the...
Do you think if Connie went to Fantasy Island, she would ask for Carlo back?
I
think she misses him.
Do you think she'd ask for that or her father back?
Oh, that deep?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I mean, I feel like Carlo. There's my husband.
Maybe Connie's gearing up for when she gets to go talk to Michael. Yeah. She's like, it would be true if my father were alive.
Her fantasy is to go see Mikey. He doesn't have the time to wait online. That's her fantasy.
Oh, yeah. It'd be great if GF won.
And Victor's fantasy is to finally see his mother. It's not going to come true. Sorry, Victor.
What if GF1 never took place?
Never?
Events took place, but not like it was. And GF1 is all the characters' fantasy experiences. So Connie never even married this guy Carlo, but that was her fantasy on the island. And then she emerges out of that, and she's just, this kind of washed up, middle-aged whore who gets thrown around the world with men who don't like her.
It's her wild years.
Her wild years, yeah.
Well, I really like this fantasy island line of questioning.
We'll come back to
it.
Yeah,
totally. We should. So thanks, Michael Gazzo, for Fantasy Island. Michael Gazzo also, anyway, the whole reason I brought this up, he was also on Taxi, Magnum P.I., and L.A. Law. Whoa. But he was also in Cannonball Run 2, which I know we must have talked about, because there's a scene, one scene, which has Frankie Five Angels, Mo Green, and Tessio together all in one scene.
Wow.
So that, I bet we just look at YouTube. I'm sure someone put that clip up on YouTube. Yeah. But that's like a murderer's row, literal murderer's row of.
Yeah. Well, and I like the Frankie Five Angels Tessio connection because they weren't in the same movie, and I'm sure they knew each other in New York.
Well, it's so funny because I don't think any of those three have a scene with any of the other three, so it's funny seeing them all together in one scene. It's like if they had gotten Lee Strasberg on there, oh my gosh, forget about it. That would have been like a super group of.
That would be exactly, yeah. If only someone could.
I can't imagine why didn't Lee Strasberg want to be in Cannonball Run 2?
Yeah, smaller trip across the country.
Shorter trips. So anyway,
the Panino brothers will have will come into I-95 to actually that runs north-south. Sorry, they will take I-80 to get them through New Jersey, and then just so people don't back home don't get worried, they will have I-10 in the southern part of the country.
And when you stop at the restaurant, get some small potatoes. When you go to when you drive through Idaho, get some small potatoes.
Mr. Roth, I saw some soldiers driving very fast through the Midwest.
Yeah. What does that tell you?
They can win.
They can win the Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run, yeah.
We used to drive the Cannonball Run in trucks provided by your father. So anyway,
what else you got?
Well, so you said you loyalty to a Jew before your own blood.
Michael goes, oh, come on, Frankie.
And then he says, my father, he did business with Hyman Roth. He respected Hyman Roth. Mm-hmm. And then, so this is where I was going to say, he once again is repeating things that Mikey says.
And Frankie Five Angels has a pretty good comeback here, I think.
You think it's a good comeback?
Well, we'll say it, and then we'll talk about it.
He says, your father did business with Hyman Roth. Your father respected Hyman Roth, but he never trusted Hyman Roth. Poor his Sicilian messenger boy, Johnny Ola. Oh, Andy, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
Hit the paywall.
What does that mean, Alex?
That means that if people want to hear the rest of the episode, and if they want to hear our upcoming Godfather 3 commentary track, they should go to godfatherminute.com/support. Support!
So take that stone out of your shoe, walk over to your computer or cell phone, and subscribe.
Are you a subscriber?
No!